Are you looking to build influence? Or maybe to drive more traffic? But bottom line, you want to change the game. You've come to the right place. Welcome to the Business Building Book Club. We're going to give you the tools you need to succeed, both online and in person. Brought to you by Coach Molly and Three Pines Leadership. Welcome one and welcome all to this episode of the Business Building Book Club. I am your host, Coach Molly from Three Pines Leadership, and this is the very first episode where I'm giving you something completely different. So last episode was the first episode of the new season. I know it's confusing, but this episode, we're going to switch things up completely because this season, I'm jumping in not only to the chapters that Russell's giving us, but also I want to connect with other funnel hackers who are actually using this stuff either in their own businesses or in the businesses of their clients. So yeah, I'm super excited to share this stuff with you. Can you tell? But as usual, I need to remind you, get your own copy of this book because there's so much in here that we can't cover with either me reading it to you or these conversations I'm having. These books are packed full of value and really great stick figure drawings. If you know me, you know I love stick figure drawings. Anyways, get your copy today. All you have to do is pay for shipping. The book itself is free, and you can get your copy at leadershipmade.com/expert-secrets, or just check the description down below. It'll be in there. But today I want to introduce you to a funnel hacker who I never thought I'd ever meet. Seriously. I went down to Funnel Hacking Live earlier this year, and I had an amazing time, and then the conference ended, and I had packed my bags, and I was heading over to the airport. I arrived at the airport, and I was ready to put Funnel Hacking Live into the memory bank, into the past, and to start kind of moving on to the next chapter and thinking about how I can actually implement this stuff. And I still felt a little bit lost. I talk a lot about the community I'm trying to build around me. And I was like, okay, well, it's my flight home. I'm not going to meet anyone that's relevant to this experience. I'm just going to go home and maybe hit on some flight attendants or something. And there, sitting next to me, was this amazing funnel hacker. We jumped into an awesome conversation. And this conversation was based in value, in helping each other out and learning and discovering. And I am so excited to introduce to you our next speaker. Actually, I'm not going to introduce to her. I want her to introduce herself. So who are you and what do you
do? Hey, thank you so much for having me. So my name is Zuzana Dobro. And I'm a leader in design thinking transformation for entrepreneurs. And I help them to attract their dream customers so they can create consistent growth, sell with purpose, and be an independent entrepreneur.
That's so important because I want all of those things in my life.
I'm glad to hear that because that's exactly what I'm focusing on and really working towards. And now these days, more than before, I work with small businesses and entrepreneurs. So I'm really, all my energy right now is really focusing on that part. And also, thank you for an awesome introduction. True story. I was actually flying from Nashville, and the only ticket I was able to get myself was via Canada. And I was flying back to London, UK. So that was a very, people say coincidence, but I don't believe in coincidences. And here we are speaking on your podcast.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you've been part of the funnel hacking community for, I'm assuming, a little bit longer than I have, because when we chatted in the airport, one thing that I was just so in love with was the fact that you have been part of some of the more exclusive coaching options available at ClickFunnels. So let's start with, how did you get into funnel hacking and how did you get into this space in the first place?
Yeah, so I've been around and probably know ClickFunnels for 3 to 4 years. And I literally, so you need to understand, my background is creative background. So, my commercial career is really wrapped around customer experience and user experience. And I am a designer, by trade. And I decided probably like 5 years ago that I basically have a really good understanding of my industry, and all of the festivals and all of the places where I can go and meet new people and get some more ideas. And I've been to many creative conferences, especially around Europe, really really cool conferences. And I decided to do something very different because I just wanted to go somewhere that is very like unknown to me. It's uncomfortable. I don't know anyone. But I'm interested in the topic. I'm really interested in building a business and learning about it, and meeting like-minded people. And I flew, I remember, on my own down to Dallas to Funnel Hacking Live. And I don't know, that was probably 3 years ago. So I've been to 3 Funnel Hacking Lives already. So I went on my own down to Dallas, and I said, why not? If I don't give it a shot, I'm not gonna never know like if I like it or not. So that was my first exposure to the conference, and really making new friends and new people. And since then, I'm connected, and I am how would I say it? Yeah, definitely very, involved, and I just have a very good network of people now that I can really honestly call friends. And, that matters to me a lot because I'm a traveler. So, I traveled around the world for 2 years on my own, and I met so many amazing people. And this is just part of the journey for me. So yeah, I've been involved with funnel hacking, with ClickFunnels, and also with their coaching program, which is Tacoma Club Coaching. So I done and I spent first 2 years they run it with them.
Oh, that's fantastic. When you first got to your first Funnel Hacking Live event, did you immediately become a funnel hacker? Did you take on that mantle?
I was like, what the is this? because I'm very, like, you need to understand, I come from a different culture, and some things even still, for me, are a little bit over the top. So I just don't. It just doesn't. I don't connect with it. I don't resonate with that. However, I really paid attention to people and speaking to people, during the conference. And since I didn't know anyone, hey, how are you? let's talk. What are you doing? Where are you from? So I started to make friends, in like step by step. So I would say I did not take on an identity, oh, I'm this and that. And that's just my, like, funnel hacker. Yes, I could, I could call myself, yes, I'm a funnel hacker. Yeah, absolutely, I could do that. And it is part of my identity, if I choose to. But for me, it's quite tough to take on identity that someone else is offering, unless I, actually decide that, hey, this is something I am really interested in. But this is just me, and that comes from my background, where, I had to almost like really change my understanding of the world, because I come from communism. I was born in communism, so I was heavily conditioned to believe and be this and that, and comply and XYZ. So along the years, once that all finished, and I had opportunity to really, to go and explore and go outside of my country, I really needed to, step back and understand, oh, okay, this is who they believe or wanted me to be, but no, I'm a free spirit. So taking on identity, for me, it's like, yeah, I'm like,
That's
oh,
interesting.
reservations.
Yeah.
How was it for you?
Oh, for me, I definitely resonated with the community, the feeling of we're all in this together. We want to do things differently, and we're going to. There's always been this spirit I felt of kind of helping each other out.
Mm.
But actually, when I first when I was heading down to Funnel Hacking Live, I had this year, I had a pit of nervousness in my stomach that just kept growing. And it was because when I went through the One Funnel Away challenge, like 6 months earlier,
Mm-hmm.
my inbox was bombarded with friend requests from all of these random guys who wanted to connect with me. And at first I was like, oh, this is cool. Look at these connections I'm making, until I realized that all of their messages, they were just hitting on me. And I
Oh
was like, this
dear.
is not what I want. Like, this is so disgusting to me. It's off-putting. Ugh. But then there was another woman in the community who posted that she was experiencing the same thing. And so I
Mm.
reached out to her, and it was those conversations that I had with other women in the community that were like, this is cool. Like, these women are great. We're a minority, but we're there. So when I was going to Funnel Hacking Live, I was like, oh, great. It's going to be that same experience. All of the media is like so male dominated, but I was determined to connect with other women in the community. I know that this stuff works. So I wanted to be able to find the women who were doing it, because I think that we do it differently than the way that the guys do it. There's just something about the way that women work and women experience things that's a little bit different. And so I wanted to connect with those people. And when I did, that's when I really said, yes, I am a funnel hacker. I am one of these people. So yeah, but I totally get what you're saying about feeling like you're being put on with someone with an identity, and whether or not that really rings true to who you are and to
Yeah.
your business is definitely something I think I should consider more.
Yeah, I guess, it's I mean, I can only speak for myself, but it really stems from really, really understanding who you are. And if anyone wants to put a cape on me, I will I will consider for the moment. But for me to like just really almost like a blindly to follow, like my all like alarms are just popping like really big time, because that's what you see, like it's the herd mentality, and also like if people don't understand persuasion, and influence, then it's these are psychological triggers that it's easy for them to fall for, or it's easy to just comply or follow. And for some it's absolutely fine, and for some it's like it's unhealthy, and for some it's like, okay, I'm aware, I'll keep you company, but I might not be following. I'm not a follower, you see. So I think everyone has their own path, right? The journey.
I like how you talk about it as capes, because I imagine having a coat rack of all of these different capes for all of the different skills that you can have. Like, today I need to do some funnel hacking, so I'm going to put on my funnel hacking cape and I'm going to be a funnel hacker
Mm-hmm.
today. But then tomorrow I'm going to be a mom, or tomorrow I'm going to be a design hacker or whatever. And taking on those different skills and learning from what the communities are trying to teach us, I guess, is more what we should be doing.
Yeah, I mean, like think about it. How many funnel hacking or ClickFunnels t-shirts do you own? They are capes.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that earlier. I also, from Funnel Hacking Live this year, because I left a little bit later than everyone else, I stayed an extra night, I think. As I was leaving the hotel, they were taking down all the banners. And well, I asked the guy, I was like, what are you going to do with all these banners? They have the date on them. Or he's like, oh, we're just going to throw them out. Like, can I have one? I literally have a ClickFunnels flag hanging on my wall. Like, literally. And almost had
Good
an
job,
argument with one
Russell.
of the organizers, because she's like, you shouldn't be taking those home. I'm like, but I'm a diehard.
You've been beautifully indoctrinated in a good way, like the overall message that Russell really conveys is in my opinion it's positive. And then it's really down to people how they're going to interpret the message, and what it actually means for them. And some people are there only to make living. Some are really there dreaming of creating mass movements, or even just a small movement, so they move one by one, right, person one by one. So it really down to again the interpretation of individual people, right, leaving such an event, for example, when we are speaking about funnel hacking live.
So for you, is this stuff about making money, or is it about changing people's lives, or both?
I think one comes with another. So for me, definitely it's more about working on the projects and helping people that are meaningful to me, that I connect with, I resonate, and that are literally aligned with my values. So I really focus on that. What is this about? How I can help this person? Do I want to help that person? Is this person, basically resonating with me? And then, money is just a result, that you receive for your efforts. When you think about it in physics, it's an energy. It's an exchange, that you receive. So for me, definitely number one is, what is this that I'm helping? Who is this person that I'm helping? What is this thing? And does it actually have a meaning for me? I would never take on a project, even for a big client, that I just wouldn't feel right about. So I'm selective in this way, because when I create, my work is a lot of time very creative. I'm a problem solver. I have to use a lot of focus and energy, and intentions and everything that comes with it. And I do not want to be drained having to do something that I don't enjoy doing. It's just, imagine how much negative and stuff, negative energy goes into that creation, and where does it lead really? So, I'm very, I know myself, I know my identity, and I know what I'm working towards. So I have a very good clarity in that sense.
So it's all about finding who your dream customer is then.
Uh, yes, yeah, or just really attracting people into my life that are there, that I know that I can help, and they need help. So yes, it's for me, it's about attracting the right people into my life that I know that they resonate with me, and are similar, thinking in a similar ways about life, and about solving things and creating things.
How do you create, or how do you attract that customer to you, and how do you attract those people to you?
So it again starts with you. It starts with you. You need to know yourself. So it really, anytime I help client with this, when they are, like, oh, I think I'm working with wrong people, or these type of clients are driving me crazy. And it's like they're not getting it, like they just moaning, and just a lot of like just hamster in a wheel, just feeling stuck really. So a lot of times, I take people back into the beginning of the beginning, where I ask them, set of questions, and take them through a certain, exercise to actually explore, to see where they are, like who they are, and what their values are, what are their core principles. And then, out of that, having clarity is, then we explore who are the people that, you would really love to work with, right? Who's your dream customer? And some people can reverse engineer. It might be someone who was like who they were before, in the past. And I know Russell talks about this, in his Expert Secrets, also. So you can take it from there, but there are also different ways to explore it, and you just need to have a clarity who you would love to work with. It's okay if you're not working with that person right now immediately, but if you don't know if you don't have a clarity who it is, guess what? How are you supposed to know, right? And then also, you should also know the opposite of the spectrum, who you don't want to work with, so you should actually work this out and write it out, for yourself, even though it might be like, oh, but if I know exactly who it is, why do I need to think about who it is not? Because it becomes your checklist of BS meter. And if someone is going way too much into that, into that side, of a client that is going to be draining you, you can quickly check with yourself, because you set yourself the boundaries. So,
Oh,
setting the boundaries around you and around your business is super important, because, we often forget, and we often really want to help, like, I would say a lot of people are dreaming to help a lot of people. So they have a big impact, right? They have a bigger reach, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, if you are starting to, suddenly work with people that you should not be, for whatever reasons, and if you don't stop it fast, think about the opportunity cost. So if you're going to carry on with this type of a, service and behavior in your business, that you becoming really resentful and you are even in denial of being resentful. Think about it, where you're going to be in 1 year time, and what is the opportunity cost? Like, you're going to be, honestly, like, you're just losing a lot of time, and you are really not giving a chance to bring into your business, into your life, person you really should be working with.
And once you find that dream customer, it becomes so much easier to attract more of those people. If you're asking that customer for feedback, if you're asking them, what were your fears? How can we get over that? And really keeping that in mind and using that to look for more people who are in that same kind of category. But I've never thought about a list of negatives before, but it's so important. Creating boundaries stops us from wasting our time. For example, I help business owners move their businesses to the next stage, but I don't want to be working with customers who are starting their businesses and just starting to set up their YouTube page, for example. Like I don't want to spend my time doing that. I want to work with people who are past that stage, doing the next big step in their business, for example. So I'm definitely going to do my homework, and you guys listening at home, you definitely should do your homework as well. So not only list out who your dream customer is and go really granular into that, but also write out your list of boundaries and your list of what you're not going to work with. And that will really help you define who you're going after and how you can get the most results for the right people. Oh, that's a fantastic idea. I love it.
Yeah, the funny thing is that it's nothing new. People just, and especially smaller businesses and entrepreneurs, don't really know about it. Like, no one is really teaching it. I don't want to say, the proper way or the right way, because, you can dispute that. What is the right way? But, the negative persona comes from B2B space, and sometimes from tech, where you want to define your negative persona clearly, because it really is your checklist of who is not passing. It's like a Gandalf standing with his thing and saying, you shall not pass. And you should have that. You really should have that in your business, because then again, you're just gonna take someone on that you're gonna leak your energy and your power away. This is what's gonna happen, and then you're not gonna be able to really serve your other clients properly. So weigh it out, look at it long term.
Yeah, I've also, there's a podcast. There's a podcast I listen to about podcasts. And this fantastic group of women, they talk about not only creating your dream clients, but creating kind of your go-to list of how you're going to approach different companies and different businesses. And I totally forget where I was going with that comment. I completely spaced on what I was talking about.
Are you talking about, like, I would say that unless you are a very, like, you're a specialist in something super, super, like niched, and you only have one type of a customer, you might want to definitely consider probably working out, probably 2 or 3 different target audiences. So you should have one dream customer, like, this is my dream come true. Okay. But then you need to be aware of the different stages and different types of the potential customers, you are serving, and they are still, passing your boundaries and meeting the, go through the checklist. And I said, yeah, but they are somewhere else slightly different, and they have a slightly different needs that you can still serve. So when you think about it about ClickFunnels, they have several different personas. Russell in his books, he's talking about his dream customer. Okay, that's a starting point. But if because they are a SaaS company, if you really would go behind the scenes, and if you would speak to any of their probably user experience designers, they should have on board. I'm hoping they are having. Then these are specialists that actually work out into the details, a different type of users that are using the platform, and they have a different needs. They have a different complexity. So I bet you they're gonna have a pretty good clarity who is who, and they're gonna have, this is our primary persona, this is our secondary, this is our tertiary. And according to that, that's where the energy and support and that's where how much basically effort and time they're going to be putting towards tertiary will be different when it comes to primary. So
So
in
you can
business
kind of
you
break
should know
that
that.
down. You can kind of break that down along the value ladder too. You're going
Yeah.
to serve each of those. You should, I guess, have a different ideal customer for each of those levels of the value ladder, and have kind of different levels of service for each of them. So I think what I was trying to think of before my brain spaced out was thinking about those customers who are coming to me. If I use the YouTube example, customers who are coming to me who aren't yet at my boundary. My boundary is you already have to have had it set up. You have to have a certain amount of followers, for example. But if they haven't yet met that boundary, I can still continue to serve them. I just serve them
Yeah.
somewhere else on my value ladder. And so look at all of those resources you have available to you and suggest those resources to those clients. Give them what they need in order to step up to meet your requirements and step them up the value ladder that way.
Yeah, could be. I mean, that's one way to look at the value ladder, in your business. Yeah, definitely.
Hey everyone, it's Coach Molly here with a quick reminder. If you haven't already gotten your copy of the new edition of Expert Secrets, you can get your copy today, and all you have to do is pay for shipping. That's right, the book itself, the price is covered. All you have to do is cover the cost of shipping. You can get your copy today at leadershipmade.com/expert-secrets. That's leadershipmade.com/expert-secrets. You can start implementing this stuff in your own businesses and skyrocket yourself to the next level. All right, everyone, back to the regularly scheduled. So thank you guys so much for joining me for this episode. I promise you, we're both coming back later on. So come back for another episode. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Business Building Book Club, both on your favorite podcasting platforms and in video format on the Three Pines Leadership YouTube page. There's going to be so much more. Next week, we're jumping in to another chapter. Then we're going to have another conversation, but I promise you, I'm bringing this one back because we are going to dive so much deeper into some of the things we talked about today. So I'm going to sign off, my friends. I'm Coach Molly from Three Pines Leadership. This is the Business Building Book Club. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, remember, I love you. Be excellent to each other.